We traveled to the edge of the world, or so it felt. Deep in southern Iceland, just north of Diamond Beach, we stood at the foot of Vatnajökull, the largest glacier in Europe, stretching endlessly across the southeastern horizon like a huge frozen ocean. Beneath this colossal ice cap lies a secret, a hidden wonder sculpted over centuries, the crystal ice caves. And we, my sons Jonathan, Brandon, and I, were about to walk straight into it. The journey began at Breiðamerkurjökull, or Breiðá, as the locals affectionately call it, a massive glacial tongue flowing from Vatnajökull like a frozen finger reaching toward the sea. This powerful glacier carved out the famous Jökulsárlón Lagoon and gave birth to the dazzling Diamond Beach. But in winter, it reveals something even more extraordinary: ice caves of jaw-dropping beauty, accessible only with expert guides. On our hike across the glacier, we came to the edge of a moulin, and I'll never forget that moment. A moulin is no ordinary hole in the ice. It's a perfectly circular shaft plunging straight into the glacier's heart, a vortex of blue, smooth as glass. Standing on that slick frozen edge, staring into the abyss, I felt something primal, equal parts fear and awe. It was beautiful and yet terrifying at the same time. We hiked around the glacier's massive flank to reach the entrance of the crystal ice caves, these extraordinary caverns of compressed light and ancient ice. We crawled into the first chamber, and at first it was hard to see, but as our eyes adjusted, the darkness came alive. Shapes and shadows became walls of shimmering, undulating ice, glowing with an inner light. It was otherworldly. There was something sacred about that space. The light shifted with every step, sometimes pale and white where the ice above was thin, and then suddenly it would deepen into the richest, most electric blue I've ever seen as we descended deeper. It was like entering the very soul of the glacier. The walls seemed to breathe. Some were crystal clear, smooth as glass. Others held trapped grains of ancient rock, like whispers from another time. The textures rippled like flowing water, like silk frozen mid-movement. Tiny waterfalls trickled from the ceiling. Beneath us, hidden rivers flowed. It reminded me of Antelope Canyon, back in the Navajo Desert of Arizona, a place shaped by wind and water. But here, in this frozen world, the forces were cold and quiet and just as relentless. I couldn't help but reflect how it's often in life's harshest, most extreme places and personal experiences that we find the most profound beauty. In certain places, the overhead ice was less than 10 feet thick, just enough for sunlight to penetrate. And in those moments, the cave seemed to glow from within, that magical blue. It's no illusion. It's the result of centuries of compressed snow. The air squeezed out, leaving only the densest, clearest ice. All light and color is absorbed, except for the blue. That's what reaches your eyes. That's what lights up the cave like a magic sapphire lantern. But not every part of the cave is illuminated. Some chambers are buried so deeply beneath the glacier, no light gets in. Others are shaded by volcanic ash or streaked with debris from Iceland's geologically restless past. Still, in the cleanest, clearest ice, the effect is unforgettable. Jonathan, Brandon, and I were speechless. We stood in awe together in that frozen cathedral of color and silence. I'll never forget the feeling of just being there, with my boys, experiencing something so raw and beautiful, so rare and humbling. Of all the things I've seen in this world, this was one of the most beautiful, a once-in-a-lifetime glimpse into a living, breathing wonderland of blue. And even better, I got to share it with my sons.